This is Mike Loveday with StudentSportsLacrosse.com, and I'm here with Patrick Lyons, a sophomore defender from Salesianum School in Delaware. And he verbally committed to the University of North Carolina back in December. So he's going to walk us through a little bit about the recruiting process. So first off, we're going to start with Patrick. Who were your kind of top 3 to 5 schools as you were narrowing it down?
The top 3 to 5 schools I was looking at when I guess was getting the end of my recruiting process was obviously North Carolina, the University of Virginia, Notre Dame, Ohio State, and Hopkins. And I was looking at them. Awesome schools. Glad to meet the coaches, and especially since 2 of them, Ohio State and UNC, both had former players that played at Salesianum, and awesome schools. It was great to see them.
Yeah. Now you had a little bit of an interesting decision because you told me before that you had siblings that have gone to both schools, both UVA and North Carolina. So and you said those were your final 2 going in. So kind of walk us through the process of once you narrowed it down to those 2 of how you decide between them.
Yeah, it was a really tough decision, especially when you spend so much time with 2 obviously going to be Hall of Fame coaches. When I went down to UVA, I actually had a sister who was going to school at the same time, and another sister who was attending the University of North Carolina who was playing field hockey there. And going on your visit to each school, having a sibling there, they're pulling your arm each way, and just sitting down with Coach Bresci at UNC and Coach Starch at UVA was one of the best experiences I've had in my life, and it was really tough. Probably the toughest factor with the whole recruiting thing was definitely getting yourself seen, I guess, by the college coaches. And then, when you have to start talking to them and things, making phone calls was one of the hardest things because you have to get in touch with them. And so I'm very thankful to Coach Evie Helm from the Dukes Lacrosse Club for helping getting me in touch with UVA and UNC and kind of being the middle guy for me. It was a great help, and I couldn't ask for anything better. But probably UNC ended up winning the day, and I ended up committing there because Coach Bresci, just a phenomenal coach, one of the best men I've ever met in my life. And, the moment I stepped on campus, I just knew it was the place for me. Talking to former alumni like Ryan Flanagan, he was very, I'd say, helpful in my recruiting process. And really kind of taught me what it meant to be a Tar Heel. And, just meeting the alumni that come, they're just some of the best people you'll meet in your life. And as players, the coaching staff at UNC does a great job of developing players, especially with Coach Bresci. I mean, he was an All-American defenseman at UNC, captain, all the leadership qualities, I wanted to make myself into. And so I think after just meeting with him and the whole staff, Coach Holman, Coach Fifes, Coach Myers, and Coach Toomey, they just won me over. I mean, I couldn't have met better people, and the opportunity to play with former Dukes alumni like Austin Buffoni, and then I had 3 kids in the grade above me that play for Dukes: Colin Reeder, Jake Peden, and Charles Kelly. We're all going to UNC. You couldn't ask for anything better to play with guys you play with most of your high school career and your youth career. So that's definitely a big factor. And yeah, that's probably the biggest factors there.
Okay. And obviously you committed in December 2012, which would have made you a freshman. So, and obviously the past week there's been a lot of talk of the latest freshman to commit, coincidentally, to the Tar Heels. So talk a little bit about, you mentioned you played with the Dukes Lacrosse Club. Talk a little bit about what that early recruiting process was like for you.
It was pretty stressful, I'd have to admit, but at the same time, it was the best experience and was so exciting. I mentioned earlier that first tournament I played at in the fall, I think I was a week into my freshman year or 2 weeks into my freshman year, and we were playing down at the Fall Terrapin Classic, and we broke huddle, and I looked over the sideline, and between warm-ups and that time, about 40 college coaches had made their way to the sideline. And you're seeing, the biggest schools out there: UNC, UVA, Georgetown, Maryland, Ohio State. it was incredible. You're like, they're all here to see, watch us play. It was awesome. I mean, it was stressful because you're on the field, you want to make a good impression. Um, I think maybe the hardest part though was getting in touch with the college coaches, as I said. Early recruiting, a lot of people have judgments against. They say, kids aren't ready. What are you doing to them? It's too early for them. I had probably the exact opposite view. I knew exactly what I wanted in a school, and I used that kind of foundation that I previously made to narrow down my school list right away. Excuse me. That was probably the biggest part of it. And I'd say that after visiting, UVA and UNC, I pretty much knew that I wanted one of those two. I wanted to go ACC, and I think a lot of kids will say that that's too early and stuff. I know we just had 2 kids in the freshman class just commit to UNC, and great kids, played well. I watched some of their videos online, and if they're ready to commit, they should be able to commit. And I had kids who in my own high school, I'd come in the day after I committed, and kind of said to me like, we haven't even got our first quarter grades yet, and I laughed. I was like, yeah, they really do look at that you're a good student, and not just an athlete, especially UNC. Coach Meshi, just idolizes those 3 things: family, academics, lacrosse, and you got to take care of all 3 if you want to play UNC.
Right. Okay. So we're kind of make a quick little transition here into the team. Obviously, Salesianum. You guys, year in, year out, are always one of the teams that are going to be in the hunt and talking for state titles. So, what's coming back for you guys in 2014, and what's the kind of the dynamic of the team?
I say the dynamic right off the bat is I'd say we have something to prove, especially with graduating a stellar senior class, freshman to senior year. Those guys have really kind of built the program into what it is. Last year I think the highest we were ranked was 17th in inside lacrosse. We really want to build on that. We got guys coming back. Freddie Frybot, Ohio State commit, great All-American defenseman. We got a great goalie, Ryan Kern, who's committed to Navy. He's been tremendous for us so far, and I expect great things in the future from him. All-American Jay Kelly, who plays attack. He's going to be great for us this year. And Troy Rader, who's Penn State football commit, who will be awesome on the field at midfield. But we're going to have a strong team this year. We're going to be expanding our out-of-state schedule to play a lot of powerhouses that should help us out on a national scale. And we're ready to make some damage happen. State title-wise, we're usually looked at as the favorite in Delaware, but our coaching staff never lets us think that. We work harder than everybody else in the state, and that's usually why we win the title. A lot of the small things that a lot of teams will overlook. We're grounding and pounding every day. Ground balls, all that kind of stuff, and we'll continue to do the same thing this year, and hopefully, we're going to make a big impact and build on what the seniors that graduated last year left us off with.